So well, dear friends, here in this class we are to discuss about the principles of curriculum construction. You know so much well that we have already done 2 classes on curriculum. In class number 1, we discuss about the concept of curriculum, the definitions and meaning of curriculum. In the second class, we discuss about the needs of curriculum for the continuation of the system of education. And on this unit, which is very important for all categories of students, that is from higher secondary level to post graduation or to PG level, this is one of the most important units which all students are to study so much well. Those teachers who are undergoing various training courses, they are also to study this unit so much well, because without having proper concept concerning to curriculum, the definitions on meaning of curriculum, and without having clear perception relating to the needs of curriculum for the continuation of the system of education of a particular stage or level, we see we never can successfully perform our duty or duties. And this is class number 3, where we are to discuss about the principles of curriculum construction and the curriculum designers, curriculum planners, people involved in the process of revision of curriculum, people who are or experts who are involved in the process of upgradation of curriculum of a particular level. They are to know so much well about those principles which are basically to be followed at the time of doing their job or performing their duties. And as students of education from higher secondary to PG level, you are to know all these so much well so that you can take part in the process of curriculum designing as well as curriculum transaction in proper way, in scientific way. Basically, the process of curriculum construction is very complex and difficult. Why? Because curriculum is the mirror of the prevailing system of education of a nation. Means the curriculum reflects the aspirations of national life. Means the aspirations of all the systems which are in operation for the total prosperity of national life. That is political system, cultural system, economic system, and all social system. All systems are to be well studied at the time of constructing curriculum, and curriculum is to reflect the specialities and demands of all the specific areas of a particular nation. The aims and objectives of that a system of education sets are to be realized with the help of the curriculum. Means the curriculum of a particular level, and here by the term level I do like to mean about the total formal process of education, that is from primary to postgraduate level or university levels. And in each of the levels the aims and objectives are different. And at the time of construction of curriculum, the aims and objectives of the system of education or the level of education are to be well understood or considered so much well, so that for the realization of the aims and for the practicalization of the objectives, the subject contents are included in the curriculum. Let us see the next slide. Therefore, at the time of curriculum construction, what the curriculum designers or constructors or the teachers and the curriculum transactors are to consider. They are to consider the needs, aspirations, values, customs and traditions, nature of economy, etc. of the individual, as well as the society and the nation should well be considered. Means the national aspirations are to be considered, the demands of the individuals or the demands of the individual citizens are to be well judged, and the demands of the society are to be taken care of at the time of considering, at the time of constructing the curriculum, or at the time of selecting very different subject contents for the inclusion in the curriculum of a particular level. Let us see the next slide. The aims and objectives of the national system of education of a country are determined by the social, political, economic, geographical, religious, linguistic, etc. factors of the society. Means, friends, at the time of studying about the concept of education, there is a specific, part of the chapter or of the unit that the determinants of the aims and objectives of education. Means, what are those factors which basically determine the aims and objectives of a particular system of education? To discuss all these, we are to point towards the social determinant, political determinant, economic determinant, geographical determinant, religious determinant, linguistic determinant, cultural determinant, technological determinant, scientific determinant, or factors of a particular nation or the society, etc. And these are the determinants which basically determine the aims of a particular level of education and the objectives of a particular level of education of a particular nation of the globe. And curriculum basically, reflects all these, all the characteristics, all the demands, all the necessities of all these determinants which influence or which bear specific influence in the process of shortlisting the aims and objectives of the system of education. Let us see the next slide. The curriculum of a particular level of education should reflect all the characteristics, needs and demands of the individual and social life of the society. Means the demands of the life of all the citizens as well as the society are to be well reflected in the curriculum, so that with the help of the process of education, the future partakers are well prepared. Means we can develop necessary human resources to take part in the process of transformation of national life, as well as upgradation of the standard of living of people and the welfare of social life or society. Let us see the next one. As such, at the time of curriculum construction, the following principles are to be well considered and followed by the curriculum planners, curriculum makers, curriculum designers, curriculum reviewers, curriculum evaluators, curriculum transactors or teachers, all whoever are well connected with the process, whole process, maybe the process of construction, maybe the process of transaction in the classroom. They are to consider these principles which are very much important, for selecting the various subject contents, for various subjects of science, arts and commerce of various levels of education of a nation. The first principle is the principle of child-centeredness. Friends, we frequently say that modern system of education is child-centric. It is not book-centric. It is not teacher-centric. Means the children are placed in the central position or in the central parameter or paradigm of the whole process of education. And therefore, the aspirations, the hopes, the abilities, the capabilities, the demands of child's lives are to be well considered at the time of, selecting subject contents for a particular curriculum of science, maybe, or arts or commerce. Number 2 principle is the principle of community centeredness. Because the system of education, with the help of every system of education, social upliftment or social demands are being well reflected. Means we live life in society, and for the progress of society we need education, and that's why society basically establishes the schools and colleges and universities, for the education of their children, so that they can, by having education, by going to their social life, they can take part in the process of social transformation and uplift and upgradation. And that's why at the time of construction of curriculum, the principle of social or community centeredness is to be well considered. The third principle is the principle of flexibility. Means no curriculum should be rigid, because friends, you know so much well that time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of nature. This is, the quotation of J.F. Kennedy. We know that time do not remain static. Time is changing. Time does not remain static. Time is very much dynamically changing, and the world is also bound to change as per the change laws of time. And that's why fix we never can include subject contents which permanently for imparting education to the students. And that's why flexibility is one of the most important principles which is to be well considered at the time of selecting subject contents for the inclusion in various levels of curriculums, curriculums of various levels of education, maybe of science stream, maybe of commerce, or maybe of arts. And that's why rigidity is to be, we are to, avoid the rigidity at the time of considering subject contents for the inclusion in the curriculum of a particular level. And that's why this principle is considered as the principle of flexibility. Let us see the next one. Number D is the principle of utility. Friends, ornamental education does not have any meaning. Knowledge without, practical usability or practical value, knowledge without usability, knowledge without practical utility can't help human life and society or the nation, to serve its interest. And that's why utility or usability factor is to be considered. Means at the time of selecting subject contents for the curriculum of a particular level, the practical concept is to be well kept in mind, and usability or the utility factor is to be well considered. And when we are to consider utility parameter at the time of curriculum construction, we must have to go back to the philosophy of pragmatism, because pragmatism is an action-oriented philosophy which basically emphasizes on scientific, scientific knowledge, experimental knowledge, instrumental knowledge. And that's why principle of utility, principle of scientific temperament, principle of instrumentalism, principle of practical utility is to be well followed for the construction of curriculum. Number A, the principle of correlation. Now the concept of integrated knowledge has come to the paradigm of knowledge or to the field of knowledge. And that's why all fields of knowledge have been opened for all partakers or the students or the educants. And that's why correlation principle is very much important at the time of constructing curriculum of a particular level. Means there should be correlation between subjects or among subjects. Suppose, as for example, biology students are to study psychology directly or indirectly, and the students of environmental science are to study education, or they are to study, or they are to know political science, or they are to know, or they are to have some knowledge about the system of economy. And that's why there are interconnectedness among all the subjects, and that's why the curriculum framers, curriculum makers, the curriculum transactors are to, you see, pay attention towards the principle of correlation at the time of constructing curriculum. Next one is the principle of training for leisure. Leisure is very much important. Friends, in a country like us, means India, how we spend our leisure time is one of the most important factors of consideration. Leisure time should not be spoiled. We never can spoil the leisure time. Leisure time is such time where we are to, you see, take rest, and where we are to, you see, give rest to our intellectual level. And that's why the principle of training for leisure time means our students are to be imparted proper training how to use leisure time in productive way. And that's why this principle is to be well considered at the time of construction of curriculum. And all of we as teacher, curriculum constructor, curriculum designers, curriculum planners, curriculum revisioners are to know so much well the significance of this principle. Next one is the principle of character formation. You see, the concept of character is, you see, subjective to some extent. We never can have common or objective concept of character formation. Still, we know so much well about the significance or importance of character for the development of our individual life, for the prosperity of our social life, and for the uplift of our national life. And that's why this principle is to be well considered at the time of, you see, at the time of constructing a curriculum of a particular level. Let us see the next slide. The principle of creative development is very much important because we are to pay attention, proper attention towards creativity. And without creativity, human life never can go ahead. Human society never can progress much. Human nation can, you see, progress much or progress as per plan. And that's why creativity has special importance, and all of we who are well involved in the process of either curriculum construction or curriculum transaction are to be well attentive towards the principle of creative development of the students or the future generation, so that they can take part in proper way for the welfare of national life. The principle of discipline is very much important, friends, for development, for welfare, for prosperity. This term has special importance. You have come to know so much well the significance of this term during this ongoing COVID-19 situation. Discipline is necessary for the safety of life. Discipline is necessary for the progress of society. Discipline is necessary, you see, for the development of personal life of every citizen. And discipline is very much important for the progress of national life. And that's why this principle is to be well followed at the time of curriculum construction of a particular level. Next one is the principle of development of the spirit of nationalism, spirit of national integration and international understanding. Friends, today we are living in a globalized social order, and that's why international understanding has special significance or importance for each of the citizens of all the nations of the globe. And that's why this principle is very much important at the time of This principle has special importance at the time of constructing curriculum to impart education, necessary education to the students of different levels of education. And the spirit of national integration or the spirit of nationalism has also special importance, friends. And in today's world, you see, in India also, this special segment of national integration has become much important. We are a huge country and we do have differences. Still, amidst all these unity or these differences, we are united and we do have one identity, that is, we are Indian, we are Bharatiya. And that's why this spirit has special importance for the change of national economy, for the uplift of national social order, for the dynamic and for the rapid growth of national life, and for peaceful living. This spirit has special importance, and that's why the principle of development of the spirit of national integration and international understanding, is to be well followed at the time of curriculum construction of a particular level of education. Let us see the next one. The principle of globalization and internationalization of the spirits and potentialities. Friends, we are in the last phase of globalization. In a sense, globalization has opened all the doors and windows for all the nations for interconnectivity or close connections. And here also internationalization, we are being internationalized. Problem of a nation basically disturbs other nations. Problems in a nation, of a particular nation of the globe, creates problems in other nations of the world. And that's why in such situation where the differences are reducing, where interconnectedness or interconnectivity among the nations and citizens of the globe have become vital, this principle is to be well considered at the time of curriculum construction, so that we can impart knowledge to the future citizen of our society to understand the importance or the significance of the spirit of globalization. The spirit of internationalization means the spirit of national integration as well as the spirit of international understanding. So friends, these are some of the principles which are to be well studied by you all for understanding about the process, how the curriculums of various levels of education of all the streams, maybe art, science or commerce, are constructed, how the subject contents are selected for the inclusion in the curriculum of various levels of education. And at the time of transacting the curriculum, means the contents, subject contents of a particular subject to the students, we have to keep in mind, or we have to well consider all the principles so much well, so that we can accordingly develop the potentialities of the students, so that they can become proper human resource of our nation, as well as they can become the citizen of the global social order for establishing social peace in the nations, for taking part in the process of spreading the message of peace amidst the nations of the globe, means for peaceful living, for cooperative living, for living with the spirit of internationalization. We are to understand, or we are to impart knowledge to our students by following all the principles, or by keeping in mind all the important principles which are basically followed at the time of curriculum construction. Though these principles are followed basically for the construction of curriculum at the time of transacting the contents of curriculum to the students, we are to, means the teachers are to keep in mind all these principles which do have special significance for the dissemination of knowledge to the future citizen of a nation as well as future citizen of the globe. So friends, I hope your concept concerning to the principles of curriculum construction, as well as your concept concerning to the significance of all the principles of curriculum construction at the time of transacting teaching contents or subject contents to the students have become much clear. Thank you so much. You study well. On the later stage, the other things concerning to this unit will be discussed with you. Thank you so much.